Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. I'm going to be filming the 21 questions tag created by Ellie Glines. I'll leave her video link down below. I just thought the questions that she came up with was so fun and it's a really nice way to chat about makeup but also to get to know me a little bit better as well. So I'm really excited to answer the questions. I think they're a lot of fun. So with that being said, let's just hop into the tag. So the first question is, what is the oldest makeup product in your collection? And that one is just so easy for me. It is the Urban Decay Naked Palette. I also did the eyeshadow palette tag, and this palette was my oldest palette as well. I think for a lot of us, I think if you're like around my age, then this would probably be your first palette too. You can see the packaging is all old, and they did sadly discontinue the Naked palette. I actually hit pan on Buck. We all know Buck, Sidecar, Naked, Sin version. Like even the individual shades itself are iconic, you know what I mean? So this one will definitely have to be my oldest. I don't actually keep a lot of my older makeup, but this one I just can't let go. Even if I'm never gonna touch it again, I just can't. And question number 2 is, what is your most recent makeup purchase? Mine is from e.l.f. It actually hasn't came yet. I really want to try their bite-size blush duos. So I got that in Lychee. I got a Sheer Slick lipstick, which I also want to try, and also their Ride and Die lip balm. I got another liquid glitter shadow and also another Seriously Satin lipstick. I purchased from the e.l.f. Australian website, and they just got the bite-size blushes, which I know you guys in the US got a really long time ago, but we literally just got these products, and when I saw that they had it on the site, I quickly made my order. So that was my most recent purchase. Question number 3 is, what is the first makeup product you ever used? For me, it probably was eyeliner. When I started wearing makeup, the trend was getting a pencil eyeliner, like a black pencil eyeliner, and tightlining your upper waterline and your bottom waterline. So just imagine, like, I don't know, 15-year-old Judy who didn't really know how to fill in her brows. So my brows were very light and sparse, and I tightlined my upper waterline and my bottom waterline with black eyeliner. So it was a look, but I think that was my first ever makeup item that I ever used. Question number 4, what is a makeup trend that you used to love but now you hate? It was really hard for me to think about trends because I personally feel like I don't really go with the trends. I just do makeup that I like on me. But there was one trend that I was like, you know, I did. It's the really thick Instagram brows, and well, what a time. It's not that I hate it now. Like, if you have thicker brows, that's fine, but I feel like the way I do my brows now is so much better than how I used to do them. 2017 was the year, and 2017 was the year where my channel picked up. So a lot of my older ColourPop videos that have, you know, a decent amount of views is when I had those really ugly brows, and I'm just like, I wish I could just like erase my brows a little bit. But yeah, I did those thick brows, and I just don't like how like intense they look, and I think they were just too big for my face. So yeah, that's probably one trend that I didn't like. And then the 5th question is, what is a makeup trend that you used to hate but now you love? And like I mentioned before, I was trying to think of all the trends that have gone and are in right now, and it's hard for me to think, but I would say probably nose contour. Just personally for me, like back then I wouldn't do a nose contour because I just felt like it didn't really make a difference and it looked quite ashy on my nose. And it's not like that I do a really intense nose contour routine. I just literally take some contour powder, very lightly sweep it down the sides of my nose, and that's it. But I feel like it makes a very subtle difference, and I just do it every single time I do my makeup now. So probably nose contour. It was really hard to think of trends because I don't really stick to trends, I feel. Or do I? I don't know. But probably nose contour. Number 6 is, what is your favorite step in your makeup routine? This one is hard because I feel like I have a lot of favorite steps. When I put like my foundation and concealer on, I love that feeling because the before and after, the instant transformation, like my skin just looks so much better. Especially if I'm having like a bad skin day and I want to cover some things up, then that like before and after, like it just, oh, I feel like alive again. I also love doing my eyes. Like eyeshadow is my thing. I love eyeshadow so much. So I really love doing my eyeshadow. I also love doing my cheek area. skincare on good skin days. I guess probably the first initial complexion products, seeing that like before and after, I would say is probably my favorite part because it's like very satisfying. Number 7, what is a makeup product you can't live without? I would say my brow pencil or brow powder, just anything to fill in my brows. Like if the makeup industry for some reason was GG, there was no more makeup in the world and I could just take one item, I would take a brow pencil, because if you guys have seen me without makeup on, which I'm sure you have, I have no brows. Naturally, like literally my brows are so sparse. Like if you saw me from like 2 meters away, you would think that I shaved my brows off. That's just how light and sparse they are, and I feel like brows really shape your face and I don't look normal without my brows on. So I would say brows for sure. Number 8 is what sparked your love for makeup? And I was thinking about this, and it's not really what did. I would say it's a who. That who is Michelle Phan. I really got into makeup because of her. Like literally her YouTube just inspired me. I don't know what about it was, because when I was younger I was actually a really tomboy, believe it or not. I grew up with my older brother and my neighbor. We were like the 3 musketeers, and my neighbor was a guy, so I grew up very tomboy. I wasn't into makeup. I even looked like a boy when I was young. Like I did not have Barbie dolls. I was playing video games. Obviously girls can play video games, whatever, but like, you know, I just was a very tomboy. And when Michelle started uploading her videos to YouTube, I was in high school, and I feel like that's when I kind of wanted to be a little bit more girly, you know, puberty years. All her videos I wanted to recreate, I wanted to buy every single makeup that she had in her collection. It was Michelle Phan. It was like Bubs Beauty, Dulce Candy, Old KL, just those older YouTubers, especially Bubs and Michelle. I feel like they were it for me, but especially Michelle. Like she just stands out to me when I think of my earlier days of makeup. I feel like a lot of people would answer this question like, oh, they went through their mum's like jewelry pouch when they were a kid. But for me, I was like such a tomboy. My mum also didn't wear a lot of makeup. She was working literally 7 days a week. So yeah, I would say it was Michelle Phan. And number 9 is what is the worst makeup you ever done? Thinking about it, I like all the makeup I've done because I feel like you learn and you grow from those mistakes when you look back at it, and I'm glad that I, you know, took photos of those bad makeup. But I would just have to say the year of 2017, to be honest, because that's when I had my really thick brows, and they were just like, they weren't like cute thick, you know, they were like caterpillar thick. It was just this is what happens when you have sparse brows and you leave it up to a young girl that doesn't really know her makeup style yet to draw in her brows, okay? That's what happens. You get thick brows. And I'm glad it just lasted for like a year-ish. But yeah, my brows definitely have gone through an evolution. Last year even, my brows were super arched and now they're much more straighter. Yeah, I'm just still going through it, you know, my brows are difficult. And question number 10 is what is your favorite makeup look you've ever done? So I have a couple. I don't have just one because I feel like I have a lot of different aesthetics in a way. Like I have my general, you know, Judy aesthetic, but I feel like I do play around with a lot of makeup. I've cosplayed. If we're talking about my cosplay looks, I would probably say my Kaneki look, which I'll put here for you guys. And it's not even that it looked the best, but I feel like it was the most impactful. Like this was, I think, 2018, and you know, my skill was not there. There's like, you know, shading could have been better. There's a lot of things that could have been better, but I feel like this was the most impactful. And I don't know, I just really liked my Kaneki look. I think it's my favorite. It's the one that stands out to me. If we're talking about Instagrammy looks, then I would say this butterfly one I did last year. I think it's my most like engaged photo on Instagram, and the line work and the colors, it's very girly, it's very me, and yeah, this would probably be my favorite Instagram look. As for just like everyday looks that are a little bit more glam, I have these looks here that I really loved. So this orange one, I just feel so summery here with my little orange and the monochromaticness. You guys know I love being monochromatic. And then this one is a very intense smoky eye that I did with the Whatever palette. For some reason I just really like this look and my eyes, and it's just like, It's a vibe. I love this one. And then also this one I did with the Juvia's Place Zulu palette. I really love the color combo, the yellow, the orange, and the teal. Really love that. And then this one that I did with the Jaclyn Hill Dark Magic palette. This is 2018. I think it's just the monochromaticness with like the blue and the cut crease and the lower lash line. I feel like it's a vibe here as well. So yeah, I would say those were probably my favorite makeup looks. I know there were a couple, but I just feel like I love them for different reasons. It's hard to choose one. Question 11 is, what is your favorite drugstore makeup product? I feel like my collection is a lot of ColourPop, and I don't really know if everybody considers that drugstore, because in New Zealand we don't really call anything drugstore. Like, that's not a terminology we use here. I definitely have picked that up from YouTube, like saying, oh, drugstore makeup, but we don't say drugstore. I don't know what we call it here. We just don't say drugstore. I know e.l.f. is drugstore, so I would probably say their Seriously Satin lipstick. And like I mentioned in question 2, that I did pick up another shade, but the first shade that I have is Nectar, and it's my favorite. This is like $3 in the US, and it's just so good. Like, how could you not like this lipstick, you know? And then question 12, what is your favorite splurge makeup product? That one's really easy. I don't have a lot of like expensive makeup in my collection. I feel like my collection is it's either ColourPop, and if it's not ColourPop, I would say it's in that mid-range. This one stands out like a sore thumb to me, and that is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette. I've mentioned this so many times in videos now, but it's just like a really nice subtle highlight. Yeah, this would have to be my favorite. It's expensive, but I love the effect that it gives. Question 13, what is your most repurchase makeup products? Like I said, I have very sparse brows, and I go through brow pencils very quickly, so I'm always repurchasing the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. This is my favorite brow pencil. It's a great dupe for the Anastasia one, but much more affordable, and I literally go through this constantly. I actually have one more on its way, so yeah, I need backups of these all the time, so it would have to be my brow pencil. Question 14, what is your earliest makeup memory? Like I said in a previous answer, it would have to be Michelle Phan. I started getting into makeup because of her. I started watching her videos, so that would be my earliest memory. When I was a kid, I didn't play with makeup at all. Like I said, my mom didn't have any makeup, and I really didn't care about makeup at all. I wasn't even curious about it. I just wanted to play games with my brother. So yeah, I would say it's Michelle Phan. So similar answer to earlier. 15, what is your favorite place to shop for makeup? I like to shop online. So we have a place called Mecca here, which is kind of like a Sephora equivalent. We do have a Sephora in New Zealand now, but I do prefer the brands at Mecca because more of them are cruelty free than it is at Sephora. There's like less brands that are cruelty free there. So I would say I shop on Mecca. Yeah, I don't shop on there that much, honestly. For a beauty YouTuber, I don't really buy a lot of makeup. Of course, I do buy a lot of ColourPop, like I used to. Now that I get sent PR from them, I haven't made an order with them in a while, but that was like mainly for, you know, reviewing purposes. But like for me, genuinely as a person, I don't really buy a lot of makeup. So I usually buy directly from the site, from the brand. So like I bought from e.l.f. I don't buy it from like Ulta, but we don't have an Ulta in New Zealand, so we don't even have an e.l.f. store in New Zealand. So I guess just anywhere where I can get it, because I live in New Zealand and it's hard to get anything here. Number 16, what is the most underrated makeup product that you own? This one was a little hard to think of, so I'm gonna just sort of mention a brand, and that brand is Odin's Eye. They are an indie brand, and I don't know when this video is going up, but I'm doing some videos in partnership with them. That this video isn't sponsored, but I just really love the brand. I recently got their new lipsticks and I've been obsessed with these, and I also love their eyeshadow palettes. I feel like just the whole brand is very underhyped. Was that the question? Underhyped? Underrated. Yeah, the whole brand is very underrated. I feel like they deserve a lot more love. And number 17 is, what is the most overrated makeup product you own? So I actually did a video about my overrated and my underrated products. Like there's a whole video on that, so I'll leave that link down below as well, because I have mentioned these products in there. And for this one, for this answer, I feel like, not that I'm gonna get hate, but like people are gonna say something, I feel, because I know people stand strongly behind these products, but personally for me, I couldn't get them to work. So I have two products because they're kind of the same to me, which is the e.l.f. Bite Size eyeshadow palettes and the Wet n Wild eyeshadow palettes. They're the same to me because the formulations kind of remind me of each other, and they're also drugstore and very, very affordable. Wet n Wild is not even cruelty free anymore, so maybe I should pass these on. Yeah, I probably should. I completely forgot. But anyway, although these are affordable, and not that these are bad, it's just the way they were hyped up just made them seem like they were the best eyeshadows ever. And I just think for the price you are paying, I personally would pay maybe like $5 more and go for a ColourPop palette, because for these on my skin tone, they look very ashy, and there's just something about these shadows, they're not flattering on my eyes. I only have one of these bite size from e.l.f. and I have heard that they do vary a little bit, so maybe I just, you know, got a wrong quad, but this one is like the most popular one, I feel, pumpkin pie. The metallics are nice, and the metallics are nice in the Wet n Wild one as well. It's mainly the mattes that feel very lackluster and just not what I want, you know. And I just don't feel good in these eyeshadows, and I don't want to say too much because I know they're really, really affordable, but I think, like, you know, there are other affordable options as well that perform much better than these, you know what I mean? Like ColourPop performs so much better, and I know ColourPop's not accessible to everyone around the world. I just feel like there's better out there. I don't know. I'm scared. Okay, number 18. What is a discontinued makeup product you wish would come back? Okay, I know a lot of people is probably gonna mention like eyeshadow palettes. I know Ellie did. My discontinued product is just a black eyeshadow. For reals. But a black eyeshadow is really important, okay? This one is from NYX Cosmetics. It's their primal eyeshadow in the shade Hot Black. They have these like little single packs in different colors and like bright colors. I do have a couple of them, but this matte black, you guys, I've hit pan on this. This matte black eyeshadow is the best matte black eyeshadow I've ever used. I have a couple of matte blacks in my collection that come in palettes, and nothing compares to this black. This formulation is so pigmented. It just works so well. I use this literally every single day. I even use this to fill in my hairline sometimes, okay? I don't have a proper hair lining product, so I just use black eyeshadow and it works. And I use this every day to smudge out my wing. I mean, I hit pan on it, so it's like, of course I love it, right? And even though I know I'm never gonna finish this up, like look how much product is in here, I know. But I have got questions about it and DMs about the shadow and that it's discontinued and if I could recommend something else, and I'm like, yeah, there's nothing that's better than this one. I have heard the Mount Cosmetics black eyeshadow is really good, but you know, Mount Cosmetics is more pricey, I feel, so this one was just so good. They should have never let this go. Question 19. Where do you go for makeup inspiration? I honestly get makeup inspiration from everywhere. Like if I'm just in the mall and there's like this cute toy that has a really nice color story and I'm like, okay, maybe I can do an eye look based off this color story. I go on Pinterest a lot, I'm on Instagram a lot. Just from everywhere and anything and everything I just pull inspiration from, like from K-pop, just everything. Like everywhere is inspiration. Question 20. What do you hope to see less of in makeup's future? For me, I would love to see less brands go backwards in their cruelty-free status. I feel like in the past couple of years, we have seen a lot of brands go backwards. What I mean by that is like they were once cruelty-free and then they were no longer cruelty-free. So brands like NARS, Wet n Wild, Physicians Formula. We even have, I think recently, Charlotte Tilbury is no longer cruelty-free, which is so sad because I really never got to try anything from her brand. I think I tried her foundation and her concealer like years and years ago, but I really want to try her lipsticks and her blushes. So like brands like that go backwards in their status, like I wish to see less of that because it's so sad. It's so sad. Like imagine you loving this brand and like, yes, it's cruelty free, you're trying to be cruelty free, and then they just suddenly be like, sorry. And then the last question, what do you hope to see more of in makeup's future? I have two answers. So obviously the first answer is more brands going cruelty free and taking a step forward in the right direction. Like CoverGirl is a great example. They weren't cruelty free and now they are, so that's great. And I'm sure there's so many more brands that have done that as well, so I hope to see more of that. And my actual answer for this question is I want to see more Asian representation. I want to see more Asian collabs with bigger brands. I want to see us represented in campaigns. I feel like in a lot of makeup campaigns, they always have a very fair girl, a medium girl, and then a deep skin tone. But there is no Asian model in that range. I feel like there's always 3 models, right? The light, the medium, and the deep. But there could be a 4th. There could be, you know, someone that's very golden and that looks like me in a way. Like, I just want to see more representation. Chinese New Year's coming up, and there's a lot of Chinese New Year's drops, and I have some opinions about that, which I'll talk a little bit more, I guess, in a coming review video that I'm going to be doing. BH Cosmetics released a Chinese New Year collab, but it's in partnership with an Asian influencer, and that's how I feel like it should be done. But I'm gonna review that palette and I'll talk, I guess, more about my opinions there. But I would love to see just more Asian representation because we are here. We want to be seen. There's just so many beautiful Asian creators. I could give you an entire list if you wanted to see them. I'll leave it at that. I hope to see more, but yeah. Thank you so much. But alright, you guys, those were all 21 questions that Ellie made for this tag. Let me know which question you kind of related to the most. If you want to answer some of the questions yourself in the comments, I will love to read them. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!